Have you ever noticed that the person who speaks the least is often the one everyone fears the most? The individual who sits quietly in the corner and no one knows what's going on in their head. And this unknown factor is the real power. In today's video, we'll discover why silent people are actually the most dangerous, why their minds work like weapons, and how silence transforms an ordinary person into someone extraordinarily powerful. When everyone is talking, what is the silent person doing? They're watching, they're listening, they're analyzing. Psychologists call this strategic silence. When you speak, you give information, but when you stay silent, you collect information. According to research, people who talk more in meetings miss an average of 60% of the information happening around them. But those who remain silent and observe can capture approximately 85% more information. Silent people can read body language. They understand who's lying, who's uncomfortable, who wants power. They figure out all the dynamics within 5 minutes of entering a room. And this is what makes them dangerous, because when you don't know what they know, you remain vulnerable. Every word is a clue. Every sentence is a pattern. People who talk too much unconsciously reveal their fears, their insecurities, their plans. But the silent person, reading them is nearly impossible, and what can't be read can't be easily defeated. History's most powerful leaders knew when to speak and when to stay silent. Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "The strong man is the one who is able to intercept at will the communication between the senses and the mind," meaning the person who can control the communication between their senses and mind is truly powerful. Silent people control their reactions. They don't speak emotionally. They speak thoughtfully. Do you know the most powerful technique in sales and negotiation? Silence. When you make an offer and then stay silent, the other party feels uncomfortable, and from that discomfort, they often speak and weaken their position. FBI negotiators use this technique. They know that silence forces people to talk, and whoever talks reveals their cards. A study showed that in negotiations, the party that remains more silent and speaks less gets an average of 23% better deals. Silent people don't make hasty decisions. They gather information, analyze it, and then act. In psychology, this is called reflective decision-making. Research shows that those who follow this method have 70% more successful decisions. The human brain cannot tolerate emptiness. When someone doesn't speak, our brain automatically tries to fill that void. We start assuming. We start fearing. What are they thinking? What do they think about me? Did I do something wrong? This uncertainty gives silent people their power. They live in other people's minds without saying a word. A 2018 study found that when someone remains consistently silent in a group setting, others automatically assume that they are the most intelligent. They are hiding something. They are judging them. They are in a powerful position. And the interesting thing is, none of these may be true, but perception creates reality. In the animal kingdom, the creature that is calmest and most still is often the most powerful. A lion stays quiet before hunting. A snake remains silent before attacking. The same is true for humans. Silence expresses confidence. It says, "I don't need to prove myself. I know who I am." When you speak less, your brain works more. Neuroscience research shows that when we remain in silence, our brain's default mode network activates. This is the network that does deep thinking, solves problems, creates creative ideas, self-reflects. In other words, silent people are constantly creating a rich world inside their minds that others cannot see. History's greatest minds, Einstein, Newton, and Tesla, were all extremely quiet by nature. They spent most of their day thinking silently. Einstein said, "The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind." Silent people use their minds as laboratories. They test ideas, create theories, find solutions, all within their minds. Do you know that silent people have higher emotional intelligence? Because they listen more, can read others' emotions, can control their own emotions, understand social dynamics. A UCLA study found that those who listen 60% or more of the time in conversations and speak 40% or less have an average EQ score that's 35% higher. Here's where the real danger lies. Silent people are often considered weak. Quiet doesn't mean afraid. Silent doesn't mean foolish. But when others underestimate them, silent people gain an incredible advantage. Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War, "Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak." Silent people do this naturally. Their silence gives others a false sense of security. And exactly at the moment when the opponent lets their guard down, that's when the silent person makes their move. Chess grandmasters know that the best players aren't those who move quickly, but those who sit quietly and calculate every possibility. The same applies in real life. Silent people think of 10 possible outcomes while others are thinking of one. They keep plans B, C, D ready, calculate risks, perfect their timing, then execute flawlessly. Psychologists say people fear what they cannot understand, and understanding silent people is nearly impossible. You don't know what they're planning, what they know, what they'll do next, what their real intentions are. This uncertainty makes them dangerous, because you can't prepare against what you can't predict, and that always gives them an advantage. In today's world, everyone is sharing everything: their food, their thoughts, every moment of their lives. But among all this, those who remain silent, who share less, create a mysterious aura. People want to know about them. They become curious. And in the attention economy, the person who gets everyone's attention without speaking is truly powerful. We process an average of 34 gigabytes of information daily. Most people get overwhelmed by so much information. But silent people, they can filter. They know which information is important and which is just noise. This clarity gives them a massive advantage in today's chaotic world. The most effective leaders today aren't those who talk the most, but those who listen the best. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has a famous quote, "Listen more, talk less, and be decisive when the time comes." Silent leaders listen to their team, understand everyone's perspective, then make informed decisions. And their teams respect them more because they know they're being heard. If you want to harness this power, start small. In your next conversation, listen 70%, speak 30%. Notice how much information you get when you listen. Use the power of the pause. Wait 3 seconds before speaking. This will make your response more thoughtful. Don't react, respond. Give deliberate responses instead of immediate reactions. Spend 15 minutes daily just observing people's body language, their tone, their speech patterns, what they're not saying. This practice will dramatically increase your perception. Silence is only powerful when you have something inside. So read books, think deeply, learn constantly, self-reflect regularly. A rich inner world will make you truly dangerous, in a good way. Remember, to be powerful, you can't just stay silent. You need to take the right action at the right moment. Stay silent when gathering information, observing others, processing decisions. Take action when the timing is perfect, you have all your data, impact will be maximum. We live in a time where everyone is shouting for attention, but history has proven that real change often comes from silent revolutions. Silent people are dangerous because they see everything, they hear everything, they understand everything, but they only reveal when it's strategically right. Remember, silence is not weakness. It's a choice, a strategy, a superpower. Next time someone tells you you're too quiet, smile, because you know what they don't. The silent mind is the most powerful weapon. It observes, analyzes, strategizes, and strikes at the perfect moment. Words can get attention, but silence earns respect. Those who talk the most often know the least, and those who say the least are often the most dangerous because they know everything but reveal nothing. Start harnessing the power of silence today. Observe, listen, learn, and when the time comes,
Act precisely and powerfully. Because in this noisy world, the most powerful voice is the one that speaks through action, not words. I hope you found today's video valuable. Are you a silent observer or a vocal participant? Let me know in the comments. And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Until the next video, keep observing, keep learning, and stay dangerous in the best way possible.